This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Today's discussion is the operator as CEO, a course correction at Boeing. So one of the things that's happened in corporate America and in business, and I'm a huge proponent of this, almost always is, it's almost always a market-facing leader as CEO or as chairperson who is often came out of the sales ranks, came out of the growth ranks of a company. And this, to me, 60, 70, 80% of the time is probably the right answer. At the same time, in many companies, there comes a time when there's a case to be made for the operator as CEO, someone that is hugely deep into how the operations work, how things get done, how the product's delivered, how it's manufactured, and more. Boeing is probably the latest example of the perfect example of a company dearly in need of an operator as CEO. As long as I've known Boeing, they've been competing with Airbus to be the premier seller of airplanes and so forth. They've always hired people. I forget his name, Alan Mulcahy. I don't have the name exactly right. The most recent CEO, always people that are very market facing, very strategy facing. And what it's led to is a culture of great revenue generation at Boeing, great sales. They've done a great job of it, but they probably need to couple that with great operators. So when I look at them having more FAA problems, just a handful of planes crashing actually, and I don't know what the right number is for planes crashing. Obviously, if you're on the plane, any plane crash is the wrong number. When the doors blow out of a plane, obviously that's a bad plane ride. But you're going to have some error. But obviously in things like airplanes, like brain surgery, having those errors as low as possible. I mean, it's very different than delivering ice cream, where I used to scoop ice cream when I was in junior high at Baskin-Robbins. If I gave somebody the wrong flavor, unless, of course, they had a nut allergy, it probably wasn't a big deal. But when you're manufacturing planes and things where if there's an error, it has huge impacts on lives, the error rate's got to be really, really low. In any event, you get to a spot in many companies, we see this often, where at some point somebody's got to bring in a true operator as CEO to make sure things get done right. That's our thought today on the Boeing situation in the operator as CEO. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast. As always, text me, Scott Becker, anytime, 773-766-5322 with your opinions and thoughts. Thank you.